Hi, good morning, everyone. It's Sunday, December 12th. It's 11:45 a.m. here in Chicago. So, this is just a quick video. It's like a combination of information from Fanon's channel and Blue Blood's channel. So, Jaron Boots is likely to be, or at least he has a high chance of being called as the mandatory for Errol Spence Jr. And Bud is trying to get that position as the mandatory, but Fanon broke down. I can't break it down. Something about Bud can't do that because his belt is a different sanctioning body, and so you can't do that. The sanctioning body that orders fights has to have control of both fighters in terms of which belt they have. So it sounds like Bud won't be able to successfully be the next up as Errol Spence is mandatory. But here's what I find interesting. Jaron Boots Ennis, in that interview with Blue Blood, he was talking about how he doesn't think Errol Spence should take a fight with Bud Crawford because of the combination of his time out of the ring, his car accident, and his eye injury. Despite him coming back and fighting Garcia after the accident, Boots just doesn't think the eye injury, the accident, and the time off, he doesn't think it's wise for Errol Spence to fight Bud without a tune-up. Those were his words. He really thinks Spence should have a tune-up first. So I'm wondering, if he's called as the mandatory, is he going to feel that way about himself? Is he going to go into a fight with Errol Spence feeling as though he had the advantage because Spence needed a tune-up? And of course that would be assuming that Boots considers himself as good as Bud. And the answer is yes, he does. Because he was breaking down how he and Bud are two different type of switch hitters. They're not the same switch hitter at all. And when you listen to him, he's basically saying he's a superior switch hitter because he has power in both hands and he can really stay either orthodox or southpaw as long as he wants. And he pretty much was saying Bud doesn't really do that. He switches quickly to confuse or, complicate things, but then switches right back. But he doesn't do that, So he was definitely making his announcement as a stronger switch hitter, or better, for lack of a better term, switch hitter. So let's assume he's saying he's as good or better as Bud and Spence, right? Well, if he already made the announcement, or if he already gave his opinion that Spence needs a tune-up prior to Bud, does he think Spence needs a tune-up prior to him? Don't get me wrong. If he's given the mandatory position, it's not his job to say, no, he needs a tune-up. I'm just saying now when people, if he does become the mandatory and people say, well, Spence needs a tune-up, I'm just wondering if he's going to sing the same tune, that's all. But I'm not saying he needs to reject the fight or anything. Of course not. He's so hungry. Oh my God, Jaron Boots Ennis is so hungry to fight a top fighter. So I think that Jaron Boots Ennis versus Errol Spence is a tough fight. I see it as a pick'em fight. Same thing with Bud versus Boots. I see it as a pick'em fight. Same thing with Spence versus Bud. I see Bud having a slight advantage. But those are all really close fights in my opinion. And maybe even Virgil Ortiz, I don't know. But we'll see what gets done, It's just interesting to see how this plays out. I wonder if Bob Arum has anything to do with whether or not Bud can get that fight. I don't know. That's just something I thought in my head. Like, does he have any power behind the scenes to keep Bud from getting that fight, even if it were possible for Bud to get that fight? I don't know. That's just something that ran through my head. It might not make any sense. But tell me what you think, okay? Thank you for listening and have a good day. Salute to Marlo's Corner. Salute to Trey X. Salute to D-Lo. Salute to What's Blazing in Sports. Salute to Contender Regime. Salute to Champ Side 78. Everybody. Salute to KQKC. Scrapbook, of course. Salute to Blood Boxing. Everybody. Thank you. Have a good day.